They're still trying to find their footing. So, yeah, you're right. They're not in the same spot for the same reason. Parabellum's going to be starting on defense here on Chalet. TSM on attack. Operator bands coming in. Thatcher band. Boo. Thatcher band's boring. Boo.
Has to happen.
Nomad band out is an interesting one for a map like Chalet. You see a lot of those anti-flank operators. The two that are brought most commonly are Nomad and Zero. Zero. That's fine.
Well, Zero's an attacker, Parker. It has to be...
That's why I said the two anti-flank operators are Nomad and, try to follow along, Nick.
Well, I would say Gridlock. What?
Gridlock is an anti-flank operator, but is she brought on Chalet? No.
Fair.
Teams
fair.
employ Zero as an anti-flank operator. Is he brought on
fair.
Chalet? Yes.
That's fair. You know what? I'll
That's
give
fair.
you that one.
That's fair.
You got
That's
me
fair.
there.
You know, I'm not the one throwing on the analyst jacket.
No, apparently I was today because unfortunately our fellow comrade of Jesse, your fellow Canadian friend, he's not here, Parker.
Oh,
so I had to
they're on
step to the occasion.
Title.
And you guys are both biased people because you both voted for the same team of TSM. So clearly you guys are have favorites in this matchup.
Why would we not vote for Parabellum if we were biased? They're the Canadian organization with two Canadians on the team.
Because you want to be the Canadian. So therefore, by bringing down other Canadians, you rise to the bigger Canadian.
No, Canadian plays for Dark Zero.
Oh boy, it's going to be a long day. It's the first game that we have together today here, Parker, but thankfully we only have one more. We have this game, and we have the final game today between Astralis and Exet. So
And that is going to be a matchup that is, and I believe the kids call it a certified banger. Yeah. Astralis will be in first place. No matter what happens, Exet will be in third place because Dark Zero, OXG, and Space Station have all competed already today. I'm actually going to be eyeing that Beast Coast Mirage game next because Mirage showed yesterday in their matchup, even though they aren't competing with Razor, they can throw a real spanner in the works. They can gum up the gears, if you want to say, and they can give Beast Coast a potential run for their money. But for Beast Coast, a victory there continues their trudge onward to the Charlotte Major. Anyway, that's match 4, and then match 5. First, we have to get through this one. Very first round of Parabellum's defense and the bomb site.
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Of all places, Kitchen on the first floor. We see the information being brought out by Eska on the post, trying to give information to his fellow teammates. Of course, Wimby, as we saw him in most games here, has been playing the Frost, but we have lost a player in the server. I said Eska post, and Eska said goodbye, Pingu. I will leave the server right then and there, and I think that might be a rehost. We'll get that qualification, or that, not qualification, we'll get the confirmation for you in just a second. For the time being, the teams and the players will play out this round as you see TSM progressing through the map from the library side. They're now in that Ivy hallway, and we see PB holding on to this bathroom master bedroom area. But like 4 versus 5, you got more guns against you, and losing that pulse is not going to mean that you have any information down below. No vertical C4s really, except for Kool-Aid, but he is up above, so in fact, there will be no help from below. It'll be Craters and Kool-Aid and Wimpy in the 3 versus 5 up above.
Kool-Aid's the first one to fall. Eska's already gone. We got confirmation that there will be a rehost after this round. We'll get confirmation further as to whether this round actually ends up counting. It's not up to us, it's up to the admins. We just got confirmation. This round will still be played out as normal. So for Parabellum fans, they're crying in the club right now. Wimpy and Penguin are the only 2 players still left alive. They haven't found a kill yet on the TSM.
They haven't. Now TSM has taken top floor control, can start that vertical destruction, but there's still one roamer up above. I believe that's Wimpy, who's on that Solarium staircase. Bolo has the information. Yellow ping comes out, drone at Wimpy's feet. And Bolo on the finger with the LMG. Merc at the trophy window finds the catch as Wimpy tries to run away, leading Penguin in a 1 versus 5 for the clutch of the ages.
You might think that he's down below the bomb site with all the action that happened on the top floor, but no, as we talked about, it is a kitchen bomb site defense. That's the real Yana, by the way. Very first kill for Parabellum comes out onto Merc, but Penguin's still being droned out inside a kitchen, so it's not going to be actively. I almost didn't recognize Doa's voice at the start.
Yeah.
That did not sound like Doa at the beginning. But
Doa
said
when we were like theory crafting content, he said he could do like the 80s voice for like commercials. And I was like, sure you can. But then he did it. And I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. He said he could do it.
He said he could do it. And he did it.
Promise made, promise delivered. Make a great politician.
It beats people that...
Midwestern charm.
Let me think. What was...
He's a Packers fan. I'd vote for him.
What does it take to call next?
Oh, not this.
Yeah, some people are made for advertisements and video content pieces. Some people's voices are just annoying to listen to every day.
I wonder which one I fit into.
I wonder as well, because you both cast and you were in a commercial. That I got tired of hearing.
You know, Nick, what does
No
it take
offense.
to call next?
What does it take to call next?
What does it take to call next?
I think you're great, Park.
Thanks, man.
It's a great advertisement.
I just like to be as consistent as possible. Don't let the score at the top fool you, by the way. It is not a 4v5. I don't know why it says that. It's a 5v5. Everybody's still upright in the server.
I guess the game didn't recognize that SK's back or something, because he is 0-0-0 on the score.
Well, see, actually the other way around, because it's TSM, Nick. They're the blue team.
Oh, in that case, we can make fun of any TSM player, because them as a team, they haven't really shown up yet.
So typically, they're already accounting for Bolo. So
it's reversed now. 5v4 fixed it.
Yeah, Bolo got it. It's 5v4. All is well in the world. Wimpy flies a little bit too close to the sun, and he is gone. That's the very first kill in favor of TSM. Bomb site is Garage down on that bottom floor. TSM like to take this bomb site the same way that most teams do, which is you want to command presence in the library, tear open some of the floor. Usually there's a roamer that's playing on that very top floor over towards Master. You want to shake them off. You might have somebody who's playing on the main floor over by Kitchen that can easily run down the staircase in West Main. But in this instance, it looks like the only defender that is that far off the bomb site at the moment is Creators.
Yeah, that's the Jaeger, so it makes sense. You know, you've already put down your utility, your secondary gadget, that bulletproof, etc. So you can go aggressive here and get off the bomb site itself. It won't change too much, but help from him. Oh, and no. God, but the impact comes out from below. The finger revive across the map. Make sure that the Chief stays on his feet.
I don't think Parabellum knew that they'd gotten it down. Penguin finished off by Bolo. It's his second kill to his name. A bit of a puzzling engagement that Parabellum took. And it doesn't really work out all that well for them. This is just TSM slaughtering the Parabellum lads left and right. Got a flawless round to be had. Last round, it was a single kill for Parabellum. This time, well, they don't have any just yet. They tried on Achieve. They got the down. He got brought back to life. Kool-Aid will need to clutch out, sitting very securely in the middle of the bomb site. A Nitro cell extended. Takes out the deployable shield, but he peeks.
Like that? Yeah.
I can't make the noise.
It's something like that.
Oh, God, am I going to get his DMCA'd? Oh, no.
Oh, no. The Kirby sound. It's his only. Valkyrie being left open, of course. We actually didn't talk about that much because normally this doesn't happen, so that means we probably should talk about it. But Valkyrie is open because the Echo is banned, so that's the trade-off that we see. TSM made that decision themselves, and PB are now bringing out the Valkyrie to gain that piece of information. I will say PP on their defensive sides, I would say they're more of like an attacker team, so seeing them with a slow start here on the defensive all things, I think is quite alright, assuming that they're going to speed up things in the later half of this map. But also, if you're up against TSM, a team who has themselves had a very slow beginning to most of their games this stage so far, I'm a little bit afraid of for PP's sake. If TSM starts finding confidence and start finding momentum, Jason, Bolo getting 4 kills in the first 2 rounds, that is the best TSM has looked in a couple of weeks now.
It does seem that it is bad timing for both of these teams. If either of them get really hot in this matchup, it's not a pointless match because there are still 6 invitational points on the line, especially for a team like TSM who, this is an uncharacteristically bad start for them. But if you go back to what we know TSM can accomplish over stages 2 and 3, this is a team that can very easily finish in the top 4 based on where they've been prior. Now, obviously, maybe that's changed. Maybe TSM just is not as good as they were before. But either way, you want to fight for whatever standings you can get to try and make your chance to the 6 Invitational even easier. And for a team like TSM that has finished in the top 4 of every 6 Invitational they have competed in as a squad, including winning the most recent one, you don't want to miss out on that contest. So for TSM, this might seem like an inconsequential match, but it's particularly important for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost say that the struggle for TSM is to qualify for the Invitationals, not doing well at the Invitationals. And that's something that's always interesting to talk about because some teams are domestic teams and some teams are just international teams.
I mean, it was TSM that actually didn't qualify through points previously. This was a team that had to go through the qualifiers. They win the North American qualifiers to go to the finals. They beat Parabellum to do it, by the way. And TSM then wins the whole damn thing from that particular spot. So not all hope is lost for TSM fans. This has been a very quick round. Mark is the first one down. The sound was from Kool-Aid's AUG, but there's no secured kill until now. But it's Geo to go down. So Mark gets picked back up, and it's the wrong player from TSM to find themselves in the sights of Parabellum.
I will say that the hot breach has gone on from both Geo and Chala, so the deep wall from Car Garage is opened up, giving that long lines of sight for the attackers, and trench wall has been breached open by Chala on the thermite. Both exothermic charges have been spent, so nothing much was lost. Now, Achieve tried to flank Creators, who he previously was on the staircase, but it's going to be Creators find the kill. Chala gets a trade onto Kool-Aid, leaving site a bit more vulnerable.
That means it's a 3v3 on the site as Creators needs to get on back. Penguin taking some damage. Actually, only 2 on the bomb site. Eska is over top, sitting on this hatch, and he sees the thermite go in, but Chala wins the gunfight in remarkable fashion, and he's got a job to be done, so the diffuser starts to go down. Bolo knows that there's still one up there, a nice kill from him. Firing up the old war machine, are you? Merc trying to head back into the bomb site, but he's gunned down by Creators, or Bolo is rather, and Creators drops a massive 3K for Parabellum. Creators makes his own play, and he crushes TSM in the middle of the bomb site. Parabellum get their very first win, and there you go.
Coach Kirby!
Coach Kirby filling them forward.
Do you think, does Kirby actually have ears where the headphone is? Like, where are the ears located on that thing?
You ever thought about what Kirby's feet look like?
Don't
he has individual toes?
No, I think he just has like blobs, like 2 blobs. Like, imagine human feet, but without toes, the separation. It's just like 1 block of meat. That's Kirby's feet, I think. But not human feet. Kirby.
You ever seen that one picture that gets floated around of like Kirby without his shoes on, and it's just like really horrible, awful feet? Just in case anybody hasn't seen that yet, you should definitely go Google it.
I've seen that once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. That was a second attempt at Garage, by the way, for Parabellum. After they lost it in round number 2, they slapped the timeout button. Their actual coach is VBM, by the way, who's in India. Not Kirby. As much as we want to joke about it, we have to pay some actual credit to their real coach.
Okay. That makes sense.
The roam was so consequential for Parabellum in that round. It was a huge difference between round 2 and round number 3. In round 2, Parabellum only had 2 players off site. I think one of who was Wimpy, who got killed right away.
Yep.
And then that left Creators roaming, who got punished really hard. Then the rest of the bodies were all on the bomb site, and they just kind of fed themselves. Remember, we saw that engagement over in West Main when they tried to kill Achieve through the floor. It didn't really make any sense.
Much bigger commitment this time around, right? And it seemed like Parabellum, the moment TSM breached the walls inside as well, Toxic Bait from Penguin got tossed out, Kool-Aid aggressed up, knowing Trench was clear, got the opening kill to Geo, so it looked like Parabellum as a unit, as a squad. They played a lot more together in synergy, and now we kind of get to see a retake of that very opening round where Parabellum defended Kitchen, where Eska on the pulse unfortunately disconnected. And the pulse is like the key operator of this entire operation on Kitchen bomb site. So now that we see this 5v5 play out, let's see if the tides can be turned around. But no, Eska sees Merc outside the door, doesn't realize that there's a wall between them, throws out the C4, doesn't do any damage, and Merc stays alive. Leaving only Kool-Aid with the C4 now. So he has to try and play with the pulse to try and get some vertical damage once TSM gets into office.
Kool-Aid's going to need that kill. He's been awfully quiet. A lot of Parabellum have. We're now in round number 4, and there's 2 players on PB who have yet to make it onto the scoreboard. Geo is the only player on TSM who hasn't. Damage done to Achieved, and a little bit to Eska, and that's about all that we've looked at so far. Bolo is 5-1, only dying in the previous round, the one that Parabellum succeeded in. And on this Kitchen defense, these 2 bomb sites favored by Parabellum, both the downstairs garage and now Kitchen again. It looks a little bit different, the way that Parabellum is going to hold this. They're kind of bunkered down over in Solarium and allowing that office component to be focused on by TSM.
Yeah, they're sacrificing that first further out area of office and piano, holding it over from master bedroom, bathroom, and solarium. Shields in this position, ADS's, electrification, but it's Achieve who finds the opening kill to Wimpy, who's playing deep inside of master bedroom. Now, this isn't too bad if you're Parabellum. You still got the 45 position that where Kratos is playing. He still has a key part in this strat. You still got pulse information being fed from below, but if you keep falling like this, TSM will run you over.
And that's your smoke gone with 45 seconds left, so no real plant denial, barring that nitro cell that we talked about from Kool-Aid. Everything else is going to have to be done in hand-to-hand combat from Parabellum. TSM now, as we talked about, they were given a lot of leniency with this map control. They caught it early, and their focus is over towards the office side of the second floor, which directly translates to the kitchen wall / dining wall right below it. The Selmas go off. clear passage on in. A grenade gets hucked in that direction. Kool-Aid, the first kill for Parabellum. Things will heat up with 15 seconds left. That's Chala. Geo holds on to the diffuser. Bolo still from above as Kool-Aid is felled on the bomb site. Eska and Merc both trade out, with Geo the one to go down. And that leaves Creators to clutch, but he used up all of his good juju in the previous round because he's got no luck this time. TSM answers Parabellum's round with a round of their own. They're up 3-1.
TSM just checking that mental checklist of all the fundamentals. They didn't rush that round. They took the time they needed. And yes, it looked like they were executing with too little time, only being 17 seconds. But it's all you really need. Once you push that go button, once you're into the bomb site, it's going to be very quick before you get in until you actually start planting. So 17 seconds is plenty to go. And TSM making sure that they're not losing people early on by skipping those initial steps. Chala, in particular, doing a really good job in that previous round, rotating around his teammates accordingly. Out on side that piano window, opened it up, held the angle. Once TSM got piano control, Chala moved to the bathroom window, taking it one step at a time, holding the flank while holding down PP so they can't push up into his teammates. 3-1 for TSM. We're going to see PP going to bar, really going through the bomb sites here.
Finally rotating off of those two old familiars, as we want to call them. Kitchen was attempted twice. Both times TSM prevailed, not Parabellum. So no surprise that PB does not want to go back to a bomb site that was not successful on either attempt. Garage is locked, so after we see this bar gaming defense, given the way that Parabellum played it, it's a safe assumption that they could go back there.
That it is.
No bedroom defense, which is also very unsurprising. This is a bomb site that is not brought out as reliably as it used to, so don't expect teams to play it unless they've got something really spicy cooked up, or no other bomb sites are working.
Yeah, I mean, Master Bedroom is almost like a worse kitchen because the way you attack it as an attacker is the exact same as you would on Master Bedroom, right? You go library, you breach the office wall, and then either you take the vertical play and plant dining, or you just go direct for dining once a wall to office is opened up. But if you play Master Bedroom bomb site, that is the bomb site. Once you breach that office wall, that is the last step you have to clear as an attacker. So just the worst version of itself. PB now holding tight onto library, and TSM attacking from the opposite side right now, but they still have members on the library balcony as well. ADS clear, flashbangs going out. No nade action really follows, but Creators drops the hatch regardless. The nade comes out a little bit late and it misses, but it doesn't matter. TSM gained what they needed. They cleared out the corner. Creators left, and PB also stayed alive, so no one really won this engagement, but it's an even trade for utility and time.
All the holes that have been created in the floor will work very well in TSM's favor as long as they can dislodge Wimpy from his position on Chimney and take control of library. Everybody that attacks on this bomb site has two huge focuses. Control library, control the retake on library, which is exactly where Kool-Aid is sitting. He's going to be the impediment for a potential retake. And also hold on to Chimney, because then you can effectively paralyze the defense down below you. A nice swing by Merc after he takes out the deployable shield, and there goes Kool-Aid. One part of this attempt to get to the bomb site by TSM done successfully, and they've also flushed Wimpy off of Chimney. Those were two huge moves by TSM, but the good news is Wimpy gets back to the bomb site alive with still a minute to go.
It does, but within 10 seconds, Parabellum goes from full top floor control to zero top floor control at all. That's going to give a Chieftain TSM so much time to work with, destroy the default cameras, deny information. Merc keeps finding opening kills for his team, and now all you gotta do is spend these next 20 seconds to set up before you execute, and then try and get down that diffuser.
And in all reality, Merc getting the opening pick, finding space, getting droned on in, this is what we have come to expect from TSM, and it seems like they're back to full form. That's obviously a bit of confidence-inspiring news. Parabellum will hold on now with smokes in hand. Toxic canisters tossed out and 20 seconds to go. They're staring down the barrel of defeat. They take out Merc. He's been the big threat so far. Both kills for TSM to his name. A flash onto the stairs as it's now Bolo to emerge, but Penguin swats him away. All of a sudden, Parabellum very much in this. A hail of bullets, and Penguin is making this work. He's got two huge kills, and he makes a third, and then a fourth. PB, an astonishing turnaround after TSM did so well on the entry. And they deny a fourth round to TSM, as Parabellum are now one round back.
We now have Blaz in the studio here over in Vegas. This is Blaz, apparently.
Oh, okay,
it's not
cool.
Kirby.
Yes, I didn't
realize.
What visa? What visa do you think they applied for to get Kirby here?
I mean,
sorry.
There's a couple of options.
To get Blaz here.
entertainer, world star, famous person. You could probably do a pretty good thing in like competitive eating as well. So plenty of options for visas, I imagine. Either way, nice to see him finally in studio there. It's nice. Lovely to see. PB with a great round. TSM could not capitalize in those final moments. They did take 20 seconds of time to reevaluate exactly how they were going to be attacking, but the isolated members were found by Penguin from PB, and that put TSM on the back foot. Then punished further. No trade from TSM is the big thing to really talk about that round. It was Parabellum who were trading effectively, covering all bases, so when one person got into the gunfight, a second person could swing and play off the contact, whereas TSM, they picked those isolated gunfights themselves, and they lost them, and therefore Parabellum ended up with more men alive than that of TSM. That's going to give us to a 3-2 scoreline. Final round on this half, with Parabellum 3-2 on defense. Not a terrible start for either team, really. Chalet is attacker favored. We typically expect a 3-3 split or a 4-2 attacker favored split. Both of those things are still possible for both teams.
What do you think with the way that attacker repick has changed things up? What do you think is a good result for the first half of a Chalet?
I would say the perfect world, 4-2.
4?
Yeah, 4-2 for attackers.
For attackers.
For attackers, yeah.
There you go. TSM still has that within reach, as you talked about.
Yeah, can still do it. And I mean, even only getting 3, if that's the case, you still have your Chalet defenses, which we have to assume, you know, these are world-class teams. Those should be quite all right as well. Now, Parabellum is known to be a good attacking team. They're known to have all these weird one-off strats, the pocket strats that we phrase them as. And TSM, they're known to have very lethal entries. And so far in this game, we are seeing invitationals TSM, except for this single instance where Creators, he gets aggressive instead.
It's a nice hero peek onto Merc. Merc, so far ahead of the rest of the team, is sitting at 8-4. Been very cool on his entry, and he's had great stats throughout almost every single round. He's been able to enable the rest of his team with those aggressive plays, and even though it wasn't successful in the previous round, it still gave TSM a big fighting chance. It's the halfway point now, as it's another garage defense, as we talked about.
It is a slow position for TSM. They've actually been playing rather slow in Chalet this time around. I think they've recognized that when they play too fast, that's when they miss the steps. People die to a vertical C4, they take a bad gunfight. But for example, this is one of the few instances where Merc takes a 1 versus 1 gunfight with no drone and no flashbangs really, no support at all, and he also falls.
Oh, the fact that Bolo almost lost that gunfight could have been so dire. Creators from above, oh, he's a menace. Silences a Chi before Gio has his teammates back. Wimpy is playing by the planter, just by the fireplace. I don't know if he's been spotted out. Still searching for his very first kill. He's the only player in the lobby that doesn't have one yet. We've talked about Wimpy a ton. He can be the kingmaker when it comes to this defense, but he gets spotted.
Trade.
Eska's still up top as well, playing on that hatch inside of dining. This was a very crucial angle that allowed Creators to clutch before. Now, you don't have Creators this time. You have Kool-Aid and Eska working together. It's going to be a 2v2 once Chala gets that diffuser down. He has a perfect entry to do so. Kool-Aid decides to present himself, and it's not ideal. Nice kill from Eska. It's a 1v1 all of a sudden. Chala versus Eska. Plenty of time left, and Eska clutches it. How does Parabellum keep pulling these off? 2 rounds in a row where TSM had no right to lose them until they did. First half in the books. Tie game, 3-3.
And it's once again such a different round that plays out from the last time we saw Parabellum in the basement. When they went for that aggressive play upstairs, they had Penguin come up the blue stairs, they had 2 people in the room, they impact the office wall, they flank into Fireplace from top floor, they flank the dining hallway, and basically 4 members of Parabellum all aggress into one direction against TSM when they're caught inside the Fireplace. And it was an equal trade. It went from 5v5, or 5v4 rather, down to a 2 versus 2. And then it looked great with that Chala entry, making it a 1 versus 2. But there isn't a lot of safe spots to plant in. Bolo had to cover the angle aggressively. He lost the 1v1, which allowed PB to clutch. 3-3 tied up series. Neither one won the half really, but getting 3 defenses is impressive from Parabellum. Now we have to see what TSM can do to match that. And the beginning of that is Gio on Clash, on Chalet, on Kitchen. That's like super abnormal. Irregular, uncommon.
I mean, we've seen TSM play Clash before. If you recall, it was upstairs where the Clash would sit. Inside of office, waste time, force the attackers to commit an abundance of utility, and look at where the Clash is moving to. Same spot. So if you want to hold off a potential office take, which is what TSM looks to do. They've got their reinforcements in place. They've got rotates, and you can see the avenue that leads from inside a piano all the way through the closet. That TSM are going to force Parabellum to use their hard breach, to possibly use their grenades, to possibly use their Zofia stuns, and of course, if you deplete all that utility, it makes Parabellum's execute significantly weaker. That's if Parabellum survive that initial onslaught against TSM.
Also worth noting, Penguin and Wimpy are both bringing Claymores, and with the patch that came out yesterday, I believe it was, that's 4 Claymores. Now when one person picks up a Claymore secondary utility, you get 2 of them on each operator. So 4 Claymores has been put down. If you jump out any of these piano or bathroom window, odds are you're not going to survive because they're all covered by multiple Claymores, and that's not going to bode well for you if you're jumping out. So TSM gotta stay put and use the Clash inside the building.
It's a bit weird to see Claymores get brought back as they just have not really been involved in the meta one bit. We talked about anti-flank operators at the start of the matchup. Wimpy's going to be running the Zero. Another interesting thing, Zero also has access to the hard breach gadget, so you can use him in a pinch if you need to. That's the first Adrenal Surge to go off, and Creators on Repel, on Master Window. A nice nade, or nice Nitro Cell tossed out by Chala to answer Penguin's very first pick onto Bolo. Bolo's stats on defense are nowhere near as good as they usually are in attack. That's something to keep our eyes on. After he dropped 6 kills in the first half of the matchup. The Clash of Geo is still very much in play. Will Parabellum be able to deal with it? They've got tools to knock the Clash away. Penguin is in, but so is Merc, swatted away by Wimpy. His first kill shows up inside of Office. Geo pulls out the sidearm, shield away, and down goes Eska. Shield goes back out, and now Geo's just going to try to waste as much time as possible. Flashed out, Wimpy will see the back of him. That's an easy pinch, well orchestrated by Parabellum. With 45 seconds left, that sets us up for a 2v2.
Yep. Now, the thing is to note here is that PP has no vertical destruction available to them. It's Zero and it's Hibana. And sure, the Hibana X Kairos could do a little bit of self-destruction, but that's all you got to work with. Wimpy has 1 Argus camera on the Zero to gain a bit of information. No flashbangs available. It's going to be a 2v2 absolute brawl. And the one thing to note here is that Chiefs on the smoke has the FMG9. So, yeah, defenders, they can fight long range as well.
Absolutely. He's still got all 3 canisters remaining, too. Some difficulties with the bulletproof camera that will give information to TSM, as Parabellum have only 10 seconds to pull this off. Not a lot of time, and Kool-Aid will rotate. There go your 2 toxic canisters. You mentioned the FMJ, well, or FMG. There it is. In the hands of Achieved, Chala gets the very last kill on to Wimpy, and TSM obviously very happy about that one in the plume of smoke. He still sees him anyway.
Seeing a smile from TSM, it's been a little bit. Honestly, I like this a lot more from them, right? I always feel bad when you see players being super down. And that's one thing that I want to praise a team like Mirage for, is that they've been kind of, they show up every week, they get beat down real bad, they lose pretty hard, then they come up next week, they still smile. TSM and also Sonics, teams that had a really good last year, or Sonics had a great last year, TSM had a great Invitationals at the end of the year. / beginning of this year, I guess. It's kind of confusing with the invite is like the end of the year professionally, but it's the start in February of the real year, but you know what I mean. So they haven't been smiling a lot, with the quote-unquote terrible performances that we've seen so far in Stage 1. Seeing TSM smile, seeing Sonic smile today earlier as well, that's something that I like to see. Being a former player myself, I know the troubles you can go through mentally when you're in a bad place, you're in a slum with your team, maybe individually you're putting up bad numbers. Someone like Bolo, we praise him so much when he does well, which is why we also have to talk a lot about when he doesn't do well. And Bolo is what we call a superstar, Parker, right? Like, he is like one of our superstars.
Yep. Big
social media presence, no drama, streams, content, etc. So much pressure on his shoulders. And then also, when his team and himself doesn't perform very well, that can be hard to get out of.
TSM is an enormous organization. Even without the SI win, they tend to dominate the conversation when it comes to North American Rainbow Six, and even greater on an international scale, very similar to how Liquid does it in Brazil, G2 does it in Europe. So you're always going to have a very large spotlight on the 5 people who play on this
Pocket
team.
strat.
There it is. Scrutiny is obviously very important, or sorry, is going to be very prominent here. And Bolo, as a massive content creator and huge name,
here we go,
is going to be somebody who always draws those criticisms and those praise. And you talked about the pocket strat.
I think it's a bait.
It could be, because right now, there's a smoke that goes out to obscure, a Candela goes off from Penguin, And now they've completely fallen off of the garage. So Parabellum did not like what they saw.
I think this might have been a bait to force the roamers out of the roam and show their true areas. We see here Merc impacting the fireplace floor on this office balcony. The timing for Merc is oh so terrible there. Unfortunately, he played it safe but didn't get a kill, but he stays alive. But PB opened the breach, faked the rush. It wasn't a rush at all. They assume all the roamers fell back, but Merc stays around. He gets traded, but almost gets 2 kills in the process.
It's the second round in a row where they've traded out immediately, by the way. Parabellum, with Ying's LMG in hand, says no more to Bolo. He's been unsuccessful on these 2 rounds on defense. He'll have some time to sit, wait, and ponder what comes next. It's the halfway point. It was an early bit of aggression from Parabellum. TSM will now try to equalize by taking chances on these library stairs, blue stairs as you want to call it. But Penguin is quite wise to the smoke shotgun, and it prompts a toxic canister from Chala to come out. That leaves him with just 1 toxic gas left with a minute to go.
Only 1 Candela as well from Penguin. Remember, Ying did get a buff yesterday as well. She has 4 Candelas, but the duration of the flash itself has also been reduced, so arguably less value per Candela, but more Candelas overall. It's about the same as before, but more ADS clear, if you will. So this 1 smoke from Penguin and those 1 Candela is going to be the starting sign of their attack here, as this time they have to do it for real. No more baiting out the opponents, no more baiting out the positions. Once we go, we gotta go, and that time is now.
There it is. Plant going down from Kool-Aid. Candelas go off as well. Chala kill onto Wimpy. Kool-Aid seems to be relatively safe. There's no real denial in here, and now TSM will have to fight against the 2 players from Parabellum who vacated the premises. They're out through the garage. Nitrocell tossed out, but it's a little bit too late. 1 player from PB is above. They'll have the ability, the high ground, if you call it, but a nice play by Chala takes him down. That leaves the 2 players outside. You have to be very cautious about the way that you play this. Achieve knows that there's 1 to the left, but what about to the right? Very, very far back. Kool-Aid, who is to the left, is looking elsewhere. A nice swing outside. Achieved baits him down. That leaves Penguin to clutch.
Oh,
But Chala jumps out the window and a masterful kill. There's plenty of time on the diffuser, and TSM holds on. What an absolute clown fiesta the final 10 seconds of that round ended up being. But TSM, it might not be pretty. It's spectacular. They get the round. They're second in a row on defense, and they're up 5-3.
And that smiles across the board for TSM because they all know that Chala hit some nasty shots with the SMG-11 to make that work for them, to be honest. And Chala single-handedly brought back that postman because Parabellum, Eska was in bar playing the vertical control. They had 2 players outside, 1 far left, 1 very far right, all the way behind that rock on a tiny angle. And somehow, some way, Chala won both of his gunfights and put TSM in a position to defuse the bomb successfully. And I will say Parabellum, they do a great job at their post-plant positions. I do think Eska, instead of being in bar, could have gone top floor. You can see all the way through the soft destruction and fireplace to the bomb location itself, but you can't always be in the perfect position every single time. And Chala, that time, was just a little bit better, and that made all the difference. 5-3 for TSM now. Is they're going to be going to the bar bomb site instead. So kitchen into basement into bar has been their rotation, whereas PB, when they're in defense, they went kitchen, basement, basement, kitchen, bar. So in similar fashion, we haven't seen top floor. Probably not, oh, we have seen top floor, but not really. It's been like kitchen defense, but like you play above in master bedroom. So we've seen kind of top floor holds, but not the bomb site itself.
Don't be fooled. Chalet
it's confusing sometimes.
It can be confusing. And Chalet is one of those maps where, yes, there's a certain amount of prominence with playing above a bomb site. Not always going to play off-site, depending on where you are. We see maps like Oregon and Clubhouse tend to be quite linear in the way that you defend some of the bomb sites. You stick mostly to the same floor. Bank as well. If you look at that Lockers CCTV bomb site on the very bottom floor of Bank, a lot of teams will stick 5 players in and around that. Nobody's going to be roaming. Chalet is a very roam-heavy map. Yeah. And I think, honestly, you have to roam effectively with how strong attacking can be. And look at that. Speaking of, Penguin picks up 2 absolutely free kills. There's a third as well, hiding inside a library, but it's Kool-Aid's to find. This has been 1 minute of action, and 3 players from TSM have exited the server.
That's PB finding an opening, walking up the fireplace stairs and just killing 2 players. And Kool-Aid finds the third. That's Penguin, the IGL of Parabellum, doing what he does best, finding gaps and being that entry for his team. And you have to wonder, if Penguin didn't find those easy kills in this round, what would this have looked like instead? Now it's TSM in the back foot in a 2 versus 5. Could be a flawless one. And yeah, Chalet, as you said, Parker, is a map where you kind of want to extend one floor up and one room over. So when we see bar, we typically see defenders playing library above and then kitchen when you go one room over as well. As much map control as possible is needed because the bomb site is not safe at all.
It's ugly, but it works. Down goes Chala to the spray. Wimpy's the only player from Parabellum off the board. Achieve doesn't know that the diffuser is seconds away. And it's an upside down rappel on the balcony outside of Creators to find the last player on TSM. Parabellum's very first attacking victory comes on their third attempt. But because of the way that the site rotation works, Kitchen reopens for TSM. Bar Gaming, usually a bog standard site for so many teams and so successful, does not go in TSM's favor.
So I want to do a trivia today, Parker, because you didn't like it. But if you could be, like, who's like your operator? It's like a spirit animal. Like, if you could choose one operator, attack or defense, who's your operator? Don't say like Buck because he's Canadian. That's boring.
Buck because I'm Canadian, probably.
Anything else than that?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't like associate yours? Oh wait, no mind. We got a different question. It's today's only match that doesn't affect the major. So, dogs or cats?
There's only one correct answer to this.
You're gonna say dogs, probably.
Oh,
right?
absolutely dogs.
Yeah. I have Nudie Man. Oh, 67?
That's correct. 2/3 of you are great.
I have Nudie Man at home, so I don't really.
You keep saying Nudie Man?
That's his literal name.
Nudie Man.
Nudie Man. His name is Newt or Nudie Man. Riley called him Binks. Like, Binks, Binks! With like a high-tone voice, and then he goes, brrr. He likes it. He likes being talked to.
So you're a cat guy then? That's what you're saying.
I'm honestly, I just don't like things that shed, and I have a long-haired ragdoll cat that sheds too much, so...
I was going to say cats shed.
Yeah, and he sheds a ton, so I kind of got the
You gotta be very
cat.
careful on how you enunciate on the word shed.
Shit. Oh, I see what you mean. Shed?
Just keep saying it.
Okay. Oh boy. Anyhow.
You gotta be one of those things where, you know, you gotta
be careful.
You gotta be real careful about what you say. But yeah, but I mean, unless you get like one of those hypoallergenic pets that don't shed, because there are certain ones that don't. But anyway.
It's true. Hairless animals exist too, Parker.
You could get a hairless cat.
Yep.
You absolutely could.
We'll consider it.
Yep.
After this conversation. Nice. PB, they haven't done too much so far. Broken the castle barricade on the big window, on the bathroom window as well. That's what Penguin did earlier. Now rotating to a solarium attack. Now, the trouble here for TSM is that no one is actually playing on the solarium stairs itself.
Oh, no.
So... No, they're okay. I take it back. They're okay.
Merc got a little bit nervous when he was shooting out those X-Kairos pellets, and he's in a bit of a tough spot.
Okay.
As now Bolo's softened up through his
Where did he get shot from?
He's getting shot from below, it looks like.
Yeah.
Could have been from the wall, too. I'm not entirely certain. Bolo's going to seek safe refuge inside a Master now, as there's 2 explosions from the Zofia that go off. No damage really done to him. Lots of damage really done to him, but it hasn't taken him out just yet. He's on 1 HP. Now the nades can go in. Look at the secondary lineup from Parabellum. Penguin's been down. That's the first bit of action. Everybody from TSM is still upright, and Penguin is finished off by Merc.
No Fingerboot's been out there to save Penguin. The cooldown was there, I checked, so I'm curious if maybe he was just like done and dusted, like he was caught in a
not worthwhile
bad position.
maybe.
Yeah, not worthwhile reviving because I knew he was done either way. Achieved then rotated in the midst of that, by the way, to the Solarium stairs, and that puts TSM in a much better position than before. Even though both Achieved and Bolo are so low in HP, there are no more grenades available from Parabellum. They're stuck here, and they cannot find the opening, but maybe TSM will just give it to them.
Bolo realizing with just 1 HP that taking a fight onto the window might be the advantageous thing to do, and it turns out it was not. It gives Parabellum an equalizer. Achieved still on low HP. He has no toxic canisters left. He's expended all that utility, so he doesn't bring any to the grave with him. Eska falls, and that gives TSM the upper hand yet again. Now it's Creators to march through Bathroom, takes out the castle. With a UMP in hand, that's not a very fair fight, and Creators knows that. They'll need to get the diffuser into the bomb site and get it planted. It's in the hands of Kool-Aid. And while they've cleared out the top floor, again, don't be fooled. That bomb site is kitchen down below. So you have to translate to a successful site execute. A nice play from Kool-Aid to take out Achieved. And Parabellum are seconds away from equalizing in this matchup. Wimpy to gun down onto one player from TSM, and it's Geo to go down. Chala unable to stop the diffuser from being planted, but he's inside of the kitchen. Time will run out. It's him versus Wimpy. This is not exactly the fairest fight for either of them, as they don't have tons of information. Wimpy has not been the better player today, and he won't be the better player in this engagement. Chala, 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 Mr. Appreciation Thread himself with just a tiny bit of HP. He gets the diffuser, and it's match point for TSM.
That was a very high chance that would have been a why are you sprinting situation for Chala, sprinting in a 1 versus 1. But it doesn't matter if you just instantly ADS with Frost's weapon and just land the first shot headshot onto Wimby. And I feel kind of bad for Wimby. He's been put in so many 1 versus 1s and 1 versus 2s on his time in Parabellum. And it's always so close. I mean, one bullet makes a difference there. Chala was literally down to the last 10 health once that round was over. And that means TSM, as you mentioned, match and map point here, and it's basement defense for them. Pretty regular upper lineup, same thing as you saw last time. Merc on the Vigil, gonna be up top floor roaming with those impacts you can use for vertical destruction. G with the kite to deny the hatch or the wall with the C4. Valkyrie with information C4. Chala to anchor, and Bolo bringing that grenade deny, so you can stay safe. Let's see what the attacker repick looks like from the side of Parabellum, because they have to answer to what they see. And they have chosen to go from Finka onto Dokebi and from Hibana onto Thermite. So the Thermite is great for basement for all the big wall destruction you can get from either the main breach of Snowmobile or all the way back on the car garage side of things for Trench and that long wall. And then, of course, the Dokebi, that can be a direct counter to Valkyrie. If you get an early kill, you hack the phones, you gain Valkyrie camera and all camera information. That's a direct counter, and you get to bring the smoke grenades. The only thing from Parabellum that they don't have a lot of are grenades and self-destruction. They only have 2 grenades on the side of Eska to work with.
Liking those breaches. They'd also brought some claymores, as you talked about before. The jump outs on the windows, so this...
That's both nades.
This revolving set of secondary gadgets. No cheeky pocket strat, again, with the Ying that you talked about before. Obviously, your focus was on the Dokebi.
Yep.
Also, the Lion, bringing that DMR. The DMR on the Lion actually has been seeing a much higher play rate than the V308 typical assault rifle that is used. And there's something to be said for DMRs on LAN.
That's true. They hit like a truck. The Rooney DMR has been as stable so far, also doing invitationals. On the
I like how you give that to a Rooney, even though it's technically Dokebi's.
Yeah, they're just stealing each other's weapons, right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
They share an armory. I believe that's in the lore.
Ah, that's what it is, huh? That's what.
Guy, so.
They share an armory.
There's another logic bomb that's used. I don't know if it was integral for the kill onto Bolo, but Bolo's 6 kills all came in the first half. He has 0 kills to his name since moving to defense, and has picked up 8 deaths in total throughout this matchup. So again, that trend line of Bolo doing well on attack and then falling off on defense is holding true, even if TSM is performing well as a unit. Chala in particular, the standout performer, but he's had a good supporting cast, and Merc is still the top fragger on the team. He's wasting a ton of time and killing in the process. That's a 2nd kill on Creators. Penguin will try to be number 3, but he doesn't do that. He takes out Merc with a single point of HP left. That's not good. There's 3 toxic canisters left for Chala. Penguin can't get too close to the bomb site, or it's very easy for him to just be taken out.
This is where, 1, you really wish you had a Finko if you're Parabellum, and 2, well, you lose the Dokebi, so your entire win condition around hacking the cameras is completely gone. Your only set of smokes completely gone. You use both grenades from Eska to get the breach open, so all you have to work with is 1 flashbang, 0 flashbangs left from Kool-Aid.
That's a low damage MPX, but so consistent. Rat-a-tat-tat. Penguin is down, and now it's Eska. Gassed inside a connector. He's the last one to fall. TSM get all 3 of the final players of Parabellum, and they get all 3 points in this matchup as they put away PB 7-4.